Well, good afternoon, everyone. As promised, I'm going to take you through my stained glass studio, which is in the basement portion of our home. And this is a place that was created years ago. So a lot of the things that are in here have been in here for a very long time, probably since my daughters got married and I kind of took over the basement area. It's also a space where my grandkids come and can create freely. I used to have them in a back bedroom. I have pulled their painting station and drawing station into this room with me so we can maybe create together. And also it's a place that I don't have to worry about them spilling any paint, wrecking anything, because the floor is cement painted and you really can't wreck it. So come on with me. This is where I created a space for my grandkids to be without having to worry about messing anything up. They can be down here, maybe unsupervised, but that's a little dangerous. Anyway, you know, everything that a mother or grandmother would have is here. There's scissors, pastels, there's paint, markers, crayons, all kinds of things for them to create with. This piece right here is a vintage hanger. It used to hang slacks and it just presses together. It's a great way to dry art. It's also just a great way to hang art temporarily. I have seen them used in people's homes holding prints. You can probably buy them at IKEA, brand new, but this is from a vintage store. Just gonna come around here really quick. This is where I put my stained glass pieces together. My soldering iron is over here. My beads are here. Those are beads that I can use in my stained glass. They have a quite big opening, and so I can easily string my wire through them. And this is just an area that I have been messing with. I love to play with scrap material. I have a hard time throwing it away. So these are just some things that I made for spring, just out of scrap material. Vases, flowers, wire. So just kind of fun. I play with things a lot, try to figure things out. These are some pieces that I have been trying to mess with using kind of organic shapes and houses, and I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them, but again, just scrap material and just playing with things. Not everything has to be these big, huge projects for me down here. So yes, and this is my view with the fireplace. Beautiful. This area over here is if I'm going to have, I'm working on a bigger piece, this is where I lay my pattern out. And each of these puzzle pieces, so to speak, would be glass. And this is the area that I cut in. So I have my glass cutting tools here and just some tools that I use to break the glass with. Here's my grinder, grinding some of the hard edges, the rough edges, and step back a little bit. This is where I keep my glass and just supplies. It's not the best, but it works. I have a lot of beveled glasses and like cut stones in here that I like to use in my pieces, and some scraps that, like I said, I just like to play with, in some larger pieces, and it's actually an organized mess. And over here is some of my favorite glass. Let me take you a little bit closer. Okay, so I'm down here in the corner of the room with some of my most favorite, most expensive glass that I have. It's hand rolled, multitude of colors in them. Some of these sheets were very large. They might have been like even bigger, but you know, maybe 36 by 36, and they have been cut down. I've used them on various projects, but the truth is sometimes I just buy them because I fall in love with them, and it's like finding a shirt in a boutique, and it's like, I gotta have it. So I don't always know how I'm going to use it, hence why some of them are still sitting here. But one of these days they'll have a place. So this is my favorite one, this orange one. I love the colors in it. I love the texture. It makes me happy. Makes me think of sunshine and spring. And of course, those are my warm colors that I love and that I gravitate to. Even the one here on the back as well. It's got beautiful amber colors in it, almost like a fire at the top of it, and just these beautiful blues and greens and golds and browns. And you can kind of see the texture on it. Very beautiful when the light is behind it, which I'm not going to show you because it wouldn't be right if I just did it with the video. So anyway, those are some of my favorite pieces. The sides of these, you can tell they're hand rolled. I can rub my hand down them. They won't cut me. This is another one. I'm going to pull this one out. Just the same manufacturer, the same type of glass as the orange one is. But look how beautiful the pastels is. And I'm going to show you the back side of it too. Sorry. Look at the back side is just as beautiful as the front side. So a lot of times with glass, you use the side that you think is the most beautiful and nobody else will know. So there you have it. So up here are some of the cathedral glass. I used a lot of these in my art prize piece, Jacob's Ladder. So that's orange, very, very vibrant. I have blues and greens and golds, and let me hold up another blue one. I love this. This is the blue, kind of wispy in there. And I'm going to show you just a few of these pieces here. So this one is a textured glass with some burgundy in it, pink, green, and makes beautiful Christmas gifts. This is a wispy white and black. Kind of the orange and yellow molded looking piece of glass. This is a small piece of a hand rolled piece of glass as well. Love to use texture if I can. This one is almost snake-like. It's very hard to cut and foil, but it made an impact. Deep burgundies in there, maroons, oranges. And of course, where would I be without my leopard, right? Good. They look really different when you hold them up to the light. Look at that. I'm going to hold this orange one too. It's just another wispy black and clear. Some texture in there you can see. Love this piece as well. This is actually black and white, but just the movement. It's like a Baroque picture. This is some, again, look how different it looks when I hold it close. I'm gonna pull it away. Give you one last peek at this portion. Oh, and this piece right here. None of you will be surprised, but I salvaged this from a estate sale. It was way in the back of a barn, and it is an antique bed frame or bed springs. And so it was on this huge roll, heavy roll. I carried it home. And Mark's like, what are we doing with that? I don't know, but I cut it up and it makes a great message board. Yeah, I just use some clothespins and pin whatever I want on it. I have some smaller pieces, but this one works well down here and it's just very interesting. So that is it on the tour. Next week, or actually it will be 2 weeks, I am going to take you out into my barn studio. Oh, you know what? I just want to say one thing about this table. So this table is something that not only is it a workspace, but it was something that Mark built for me. It's about 7 feet long and probably 5 feet wide. And what it did for me was it gave me value as an artist, because he invested not only his money and his time into it, and he invested in what my heart and soul just craves. And so at the time when he built this was just a hobby. This is just something that I found fun to do. I sell pieces, but I don't make commission pieces, so I'm not making a ton of money. I do it for the love of it, and just the fact that he invested in it and honored what God has put in my heart and the gifts that God has given me to use. And you'll see that out in the barn when I take you out there next week. Again, it's just another space that Mark renovated with me in mind, just a place that I could go and escape and work and have gatherings. And it just was very, very meaningful to me. So anyway, again, thank you for joining me, and I look forward to the next studio tour, give you a peek of what's outside. So when I do have my gatherings and I have my workshops, you will see the beautiful space out in the back of our home. And I just want to thank you for staying with me. God bless.